Hello. Welcome to our live this week answering your questions. And this one came in the comments on the fuzzy stretches. So the stretches with the fuzzies, they're just called stretches, really, but we have to name them because otherwise they don't have a name. So people call them ballet stretches, but typically they are stretches with fuzzies. And what we're going to show you today is actually how to do all three in one. So this is more of a holistic. I do a deeper dive on each one of these exercises on in its own video, and you can also, we'll be able to see those in the upcoming flashcard deck for the Cadillac / Tower flashcards. So each one has its own card because each one has its own exercise, and you might use all of them at one time, but when you're learning them or you're teaching them to someone, you'll probably just teach the one that they need and then work your way around. So here's how you do this. First, you kind of want everything out of your way because, like the rollback bar, because you need space for your foot to move. Then you want to set up your trapeze about an arm's distance away. That way it's not too close. You're going to use it. And then I'll show you, we'll just do the front one first because it's just to me, one of the better ones to start with. So obviously you can't do this one on a tower. I've seen people put a loop in the center and just like move it over, and you better have really good balance because even I still use the poles, and my mat is not squishy. So I have the Contrology Cadillac and it is not squishy, and they do have a tower version. So again, if you have really good balance, you could try this without arms, but it was done with arms. So here we go. You just lightly touch. You're going to do a little spine stretch forward over the leg. Then you lift up and it's a swan. So I'm keeping my hips over my foot. I'm not letting my hips lean away from it, right? Both feet are standing firmly. Again, you can walk forward, big stretch, and then big extension. You do 3 of these. You could do more if you want. It's not about my chest laying on the leg. Then I take the foot off the pole on the inside, and then I'm going to reach the leg forward and I'm going to pull the leg back. Reach the leg forward, standing in the fuzzy and pulling it back. The leg that's doing the work is a standing one, so I'm reaching and then I stand and I reach this way. So not pulling with my arms, they're just there as a guide. And then you plant the foot and you just turn on your heel, and that should pretty much keep you hip over ankle. Then you're going to reach. I have a ceiling here, so ideally your arm is straight up to the sky to start. Mine is going to slide across the ceiling. Really important as you do this side stretch that you don't lean away from the leg. Again, keeping your hips where they are. What is the biggest up and over you can do? And then you take your foot off. And you're going to reach the leg forward and you're going to pull it back. And you're going to reach the leg forward, pull it back. I just took a look to make sure I'm not hanging out in my knee here. Reach the leg forward and then pull the waist back. Nice little stretch. Then we turn for the third one. Now I'm in the wrong fuzzy for the third one. So I slip my foot out and I reach it back there. Some people need a little assist there, so you gotta get used to it. This foot isn't hanging off. I am standing in it, and yes, I have to stand on the hooks of my leg springs, and it's not comfortable. Both hands touch the rail. Both hands touch the trapeze. Not one at a time. Both. And then you're gonna lift your center up. Both. Hands touch the sling, and then both. And then right here, staying in both feet, I can bend and straighten this leg and get a really nice stretch to the front of my hip and then a stretch to my hamstring. Stretch the front of the hip, stretch to the hamstring. So this is the front of the hip that's getting a stretch when the knee bends. Some people will even let the leg go off and then they pick themselves up like they're going to do a handstand. So you can do the same thing. Then put the foot on the rail, both hands, and then you can just take the foot out. You can do a little arabesque if you want. And then lucky you get to do the other side. So it is essentially the same stretches that you do on the ladder barrel. So if you're like, oh my gosh, I have a fear of heights, or Leslie, this is nice, but I actually am on a tower and I don't have a Cadillac. Great, you can go onto a ladder barrel and do the exact same series, because you slide the leg across the ladder barrel and you pull it back with your waist. And you slide and you pull it back, right? So same thing, again, not using your arms when you're doing that. And then again, foot on, we turn and you do your side stretch. And you're gonna notice which side is tighter. I can tell you right now, this side is tighter for me. My left whole leg is a little bit weaker. And then foot goes off to the front and you reach and you pull. So you can see from this angle, I'm not hanging out in the knees and I am not doing this with my hands. They're here as a guide so I don't fall. And then you turn and you reach the foot back, get it into the strap, and then both hands, both hands, both hands, down and do your stretch. Ooh, and you can tell this is kind of like your Russian splits here as well. So if you are wanting to practice your Russian splits on the reformer, doing your fuzzy stretches is really helpful. And then place the foot, both hands, lift all the way out. So hopefully that makes sense now that you've seen them all together. Again, if you have higher ceiling, you can play with taking the arms off and then, but it's okay to use the rails. It's not like you're a beginner if you're using the rails. It's there to help you find that lift, to find that length. It's not just about, it's called fuzzy stretches, but you're going to feel your hips strengthening, your core working. It's really lovely. Great way to either start a session or finish a session. Cool. So you'll also see these, as I mentioned at the beginning of this, in the flashcards we're making for the Cadillac. While we have tower exercises in that deck, this is one that you'll see a little tab that says not on the tower, but majority of the exercises in our flashcards can be done on a tower. There's just a handful like this one. So it's good to know in case you ever have access to a Cadillac so you can take advantage and do these things. Thank you so much for watching. Again, these videos are created by answering your questions, so put them in the comments below. If you want that flashcard deck, make sure you check out our show notes on our new Cadillac videos that are coming out, or go to onlinepilatesclasses.com to get on that wait list, and also join us for our 50-minute workouts on the Cadillac every month. It's also where we do life better.